Hello all and welcome to video classes by Kondor Institute. Today we will be discussing the next part of what we have studied in the last class, that was what is a frequency distribution. Today we will be discussing how to prepare a frequency distribution. So in a previous class I had prepared a table wherein you have seen class interval, upper class limits, lower class limits, how to find out the class mark or the class midpoint and all, right? So that's just for you to understand what is frequency distribution, wherein we have understood how the class interval looks like and what is called as the upper class limit, lower class limit, and how to calculate. But now in this class we'll understand how to prepare this frequency distribution. Okay, we have 4 questions. First I'll just read out those 4 questions, what they are. First is that how many classes should we have? Okay, we have seen that 0 to 5, 5 to 10 and all the class intervals, right? So we will understand how we have come up with that. So first question talks about how many classes should we make. Next question is how should be the size of each class. So when I have this, how did I decide that it should be from 0 to 5? That we will be understanding in second question. And the third question is how should we determine the class limits? So the 0 and the 5 are the class limits, right? 0 is the lower class limit and 5 is the upper class limit of that class interval. So how did we decide this? We will understand in this question. And fourth question is how should we get the frequency for each class? So how are we going to get the frequency for each class is also what we will understand in the fourth question. So let's first understand how many classes should we have to make. See, the example which we had taken was the subject marks in the economics, right? So when we are talking about the subject of economics in the previous example, then what is the minimum marks and what is the maximum marks for this economics? It is minimum is 0 and maximum is 100, right? So before we decide how many classes we want to make, first we'll understand what is the range of the data we have. So what is this range? Range means the minimum mark for our example here is 0, because below the 0 we cannot say that -1, -2, right? So minimum is 0 for us. The data for us to gather, it might be a student who has scored 0 marks in economics subject, or it might be 100, which is maximum. So we have these 2, which is our range. Okay, so now we need to calculate the range, right? How do we calculate? The range is, we calculate it, first we identify the highest range or the highest value and then the lowest value. So the difference between this highest value and the lowest value talks about this range. So now we have a range of 100, right? So this is the highest value and this is the lowest value of our data which we have. So the range becomes 100 for us. So when we have 100 as a range, it's a quite long variation because we have 100 numbers, right? So this is a very long range or a large range we can call it. So when we have a large range, we cannot make a very small values, right? So that's the reason as you make a large variations, we will be losing some of the data or some of the observations. And if you make a very small variations, then there are chances of making it very narrow. Okay, so that's the reason it should not be neither large variation nor the small variation. So once we decide this range, next we look into how many class intervals we will make. So the number of classes we decide here. Okay, so as we have 100 here, we can even make it 10 number of classes. So when we have in the last class we have done, right, 0 to 10 10 to 20. So as 90 to 100. Right? So these are the number of classes. 1, 2, 3 and this was the 10th number. So we decided how many number of classes we have to make depending on the range what we have got. So when you have decided the number of classes, we will be easy for us to make the class intervals, which we have 10 here. How did we find that the class interval is? By the difference of the upper class limit and the lower class limit, which we have calculated in the previous class, right? So if this difference is too long, let's say for example it's 0 to 50, then you have here the difference of, you can see that the range is of 50 here in between. So if you do like this, then the second class interval will be 50 to 100. We have got only 2 number of classes here. So if you have these kind of class interval, then there will be a chances of you missing out the number, right? And if you have made a very small range, for example 0 to 2, it becomes 98 to 100, right? So you have a lot more class intervals when you have small range in between this, right? So looking at that, we have to decide how many class intervals we have to make, or number of classes what we have to decide. So that's also one of the big important point which we need to consider. And second question talks about what should be the size of each classes. So these two questions have interlink between the first question and the second question, right? When we are deciding how the class needs to be made or how many classes we should have, has interlink with what should be the size of the class, because unless and until you don't have the range, or you don't know the range of the class, or you don't know the range of the data which you have. For example, we had this 100, right? So if we don't know this range, how can you come to a decision that what should be the size of that class? It's quite difficult for us, right? So that's the reason we have to calculate this range, and then we decide a number of classes with what class interval or what should be the range in between this class interval, and then we decide number of the classes, right? So these first question and the second question has interlink. And however, if we have here, we have seen 1, 10 to 20. Here you can see that the width of this class interval, okay, is 10. As long as we have this equal width in each classes, then it is nothing but the sum of the average. Okay, so sorry, that is the sum of all the class interval becomes the average, because you can see here 10, if you add this 10 it becomes 20. So the last class interval is 90 to 100, so which is again 10 multiplied into 10 classes becomes the 100, which is equal to the range, right? So the number of class, the sum of the class intervals equals to the range, and you can also call it as the product of the class interval into the width of each class if they have equal width of each class interval. So these two questions has interlink with both the question. Once we decide the range, and then we can easily decide the number of classes and then the class interval. So that gives us the interlink between these two questions. And the third and the fourth question, we will look into that in the next class. See you all in the next video class.